And we are live with possibly the first live stream of the bear market. Well, at least according to Andrew and Jan, it is. I, on the other hand, am still bullish. I am not worried. I'm getting ready to just scoop up some Bitcoin under 100K, some Ethereum around 3K, some Chainlink for like $10. I am ready to slurp this dip like you can't even believe, like something that like an anteater, baby. Just nom. I'm ready to go. These guys are bearish. I'm even pre-sales right now. I'm sending my future children's inheritance and my future boat money. I'm shipping it off to shitcoin pre-sales right now. That's how bullish I am on 2026. Anyways, we'll have to hear what these guys have to say and listen to them.
You're too thirsty. It's like you're ready for a Diddy party, bro. There's no Diddy parties anymore. It's all over. It's all over.
Coming.
There's no Diddies anymore. Okay, it's done.
Into Q1. It's not even gonna take that long, but into Q1, like you guys are gonna be going, oh Nate, you were right. Why didn't we buy when you were buying? We sold everything and didn't buy anything on the dip. Can we have some of your cheap Ethereum and your cheap Bitcoin? And I'll be like, no, you can't.
To be honest, I think everyone are capitulating at the moment.
Yeah, like, dude, every day there's like a liquidation notification I'm getting. It's like, oh, 100 mil liquidated. Boom, another 100 mil liquidated. Boom, another 100 mil. Like every day for the past
16 billion liquidated in the past week or so.
Yeah.
Well, retail's here. We have an @Fashbinder asking, hello, I'm a general retail user and would like to know what Andrew thinks about there not being a bear until Bitcoin closes below the 50-week SMA.
I mean, it's definitely possible. We're technically already below it, are we not? What's the 50 SMA? It's on the daily. Hold on. Let me check real quick. But I'm pretty sure we're actually already below 50 SMA. Oh, maybe I don't have it on there. Hold on. Let me grab my indicator tool. Let me add the 50 SMA. We're already pretty below the 50 SMA. So if you're looking on a weekly chart, maybe, I guess it's getting really close, like right there. I mean, I feel pretty bearish right now with how this weekly structure looks. Like that's a weekly double top coming in right now. And, you know, if you look on Ethereum had its double top come in back in September, at the end of September there. And it's just been straight down since. And we haven't seen any good rallies in the market since then, really. And so now that Bitcoin's coming in with its weekly double top, you know, below that 50 SMA there, yeah, I do think we're pretty fucked. For a little while.
26 look very promising, yeah?
God, I don't even know.
Look at that. We bottom out now, and then we go hard in 2026.
Yeah, like that's what I'm hoping is like they just wash the market right now, like everything completely, just destroy everybody's hopes and dreams. And then they bring the market back as, you know, the midterms come in and, you know, all that shit. But I don't know. I'm getting more and more like pessimistic about how the market's looking. I was trying to be optimistic last week, and it just after losing that double bottom there and these lows here, I am getting quite bearish here. So I don't know. It's I don't really know what the catalyst is going to be to cause this to moon back up. Maybe some quantitative easing. You know, maybe, I don't know.
Well, remember the government has been now shut down for how many days?
35 days, I think. It's the longest, I think.
Almost. Yeah, people just don't have money. We had 40 million people that didn't get food stamps now this month. I mean, where are we going to get that money to buy these shit coins, eh? Where?
I don't know. Even getting a loan right now is scary.
Start sports betting. Start gambling on Polymarket. Get that money so you can put it into the crypto casino. Come on, people. You gotta get creative here.
Yeah, I'm just hoping lighter gives me a nicer drop.
You
That's
have
like my
to,
only saving grace right now.
Like honest questions. Like I think a lot of traders at the moment, including like us and like experienced OGs, are thinking like, should we sell and park into stable coins, wait for a market dump still, or is this gonna be it? So I think this is a tough situation in many ways. Like this is a
Yeah,
multi-year support that we are lying in, especially for ETH and BTC. And if we
yeah,
are now breaking down like these levels, like I would not be surprised if these levels are broken, that we see 90 or even like down to 80K BTC. And I'm scared to say that, but I would not be surprised.
yeah. I'm also seeing like equities markets starting to put in some tops here. So it's fuck, man, it's looking pretty rough. But like we've had a very good run this year, right? Like if you look at how much this market's actually ran up, it's like it's quite a decent run. Especially if after that bottom there in March or April. But yeah, unfortunately, like we did talk about kind of the end of the cycle ideas and theories. I just didn't think it'd be this quick. I thought we would have at least one more kind of relief rally. But yeah, it's looking very bleak. Equity has got these double tops finally starting to form. If we start losing those moving average supports and these recent lows we created down here, then we could be expecting some pretty nasty fireworks there. And then even in crypto, like fuck, man, I really thought this double bottom would hold. At least maybe just get that gap filled and then reversed. But it looks like we're just kind of breaking lower now and about to lose that on the CME charts. Generally, you don't really want to see that. If we have the break below, then reload zones down to 94, 85K is kind of what I'm thinking for this temporary range. And then ultimately, if we really have to break down lower from the peak to the next kind of bottom range here, 78, 65. So the numbers just get lower and lower as we start breaking these critical levels. But yeah, man, it's looking really nasty out there. So like on this daily chart, we are back to that 78.6 level. We broke past that 38.2, which I was really hoping that would have held there. So losing that support is not a good sign. Showing a lot of signs of weakness for the bulls here. Yeah, I mean, I really do think if we do start going towards that 98K and we break below, then we're going to have to start thinking lower levels of, like 94 to 85, which is this recent range from this low to that high. And then obviously if we start breaking that range, then we got to go a bit lower. But that's like stuff we can think about later on. So for now, in the temporary short term, I think we're back to this really critical short level here, or support level. So as you can see, we tagged this reload zone multiple times now, and we bounced out. So I'm hoping that this will just start reversing slowly today. And if we can start putting in those double bottoms within this reload zone, then I can start getting excited again. But until then, I think we're pretty screwed. Like there's so many liquidations and hacks, and there's so much money being lost every day that like I just don't see how there could be a pump really. It seems like people are just out of money right now. Like,
Remember, it took 4 months after FTX crashed last time to start recovering, and we just had fucking $40 billion plus last week that was $20 billion or whatever. I mean, it will take time to recover, guys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised that we're seeing 2026 February when we start pumping again. But yeah, like I have to admit, like as a CEO and someone that is speculating to hold assets or not, it's hard. It's very hard. Obviously, long term, nothing changes. But we are speculating time to time, and this is like the time when I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, like I mean, I closed out a lot of positions yesterday and today. I'm like sitting about 80% in cash right now, which I haven't done in a long time. Even closed up positions that I've hit free positions on, just because I feel very uncomfortable holding longs at the moment. I just don't see the case for the bullish side just yet. But again, if we start printing those double bottoms here, if we do hold these levels, I will be looking for longs. But I'm very, very bearish, which is so unfortunate because I was so bullish last week with the structure slowly coming in. But it does feel kind of rugged now.
I wonder what would change the sentiment. Like, would it help that Trump would like overall? If you guys think last year, if Elon Musk tweeted something positive, we pumped like crazy. This year
Yes.
is mostly Trump, but I see less and less like volume coming from Trump tweets. Obviously, it's changing, but like, what could be the one that would change our direction at the moment?
Jim Cramer being like, "This is over, sell everything." That's like the only saving grace.
But like, let's think about it. Like, we have institutions now.
Yeah.
ETFs have been very negative for the past month, which is very bad. Like, there hasn't been a lot of positive news, despite we have adoption, despite everything, and people are now talking about the AI bubble. Like, it's gonna finally come, and Nvidia and everything else is gonna just explode. I think Michael Blurry, that is famous for shorting, he took massive shorts now on Nvidia and so forth.
Yeah, but he's done that he does it like every 3 months. He comes up with a new he was right once and called a 20% dip in the markets once like 2 decades ago, and they made a bunch of movies out of him. And now like every 6 months he cries wolf, and like of course he's gonna get it right eventually again because he's like Kiyosaki as well. Kiyosaki's calling for like the end of the world.
I don't give any credit to Kiyosaki.
Tell him to not short my Nvidia. I'm so close to hitting a double on Nvidia. I'm like, dude, just give me one more leg up, please, motherfuckers. So annoying.
But I mean, if you think about the Nvidia Ponzi, it's pretty like crazy. But they're doing with Nvidia, Microsoft, ChatGPT, OpenAI, and some other AI companies. They're just circle jerking each other with different contracts, and then basically pumping their stocks. So there's no new money coming in. It's just circle jerking the same money. And now we have 7 stocks that has been basically pulling the whole bull market this year. Like,
pretty much.
How is this sustainable? It's not.
No, it's
how is anything in the fiat economy sustainable? It's not. That's been going on for 50 years.
Like most retail is pretty fucked from what I've talked with. Like I've talked to a lot of my normie friends back at home. Like people are like struggling. Like no one's like actually like winning right now. People are in debt. People barely can afford rent. Like it's like I don't know. There's just like we need a new stimulus check or some shit. Like
that'll help kick the can down the road another 6 months.
I mean, whatever. We're gonna print what $7 trillion soon,
But let's see. Like, if you would have to bet for the next 6 months some coins, what would you pick? Like, I would probably look at Tron. I would probably look at Binance Chain, BSC, of course. Obviously, Ethereum, BTC. But like, if you have to pick, like at least one or two, what would you pick for the next 6 months?
Farcoin, XRP, and Doge.
Those are pretty good volatile ones, that's for sure. Damn, I don't even know. I feel like everything's so wrecked right now. It's like hard to even decide like what's good. And now you're getting all these like scam coins starting to pump right now, right? You got like just complete absolute garbage pumping. So it's like the fact that these are moving like 600% or whatever, right? Then you got like blue chips that are dying. It doesn't make any sense. So I think we're at the last end of this part of the cycle. So it's hard for me to be bullish on anything. But if I had to decide, Bitcoin and ETH are probably the two. Solana, BNB, anything in the top 10 market cap generally.
I'd put Link in there.
Link, yeah, I like Link. Link is good too.
Like Link has too much like bullish stuff going on in the background. Too much integration. Too much too many partnerships, like too many people.
I
So
know.
many people are going to be using their shit. Like when all of that actually catches up and gets traction. I just made a post about this today on LinkedIn and Twitter and
I just
stuff.
feel like that doesn't help though. It's like, yeah, we're getting adoptions. Yes, they have all these great bullish news, but like people don't care. The market doesn't give a shit.
No, that's my
They're
point.
just
Is like we talked about on Friday last week. It's like all the speculative stuff doesn't mean shit until the actual traction kicks in. And in a few months from now, when like actual stablecoin usage comes on board, when all these credit card companies and like when all the announcements that they've made actually go into effect and like start producing business, like where it's creating actual demand for their token, that's when you'll see the downstream effect and like actual token price pick up. Till then, it's just, it's speculative bullshit PR articles.
And it's looking wrecked right now. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, for most part, like looking at levels, like Ethereum's pretty cooked. I mean, we're losing at 38.2 right now. We got 200 SMA just below, but I do feel like we're gonna have to break below. So my realistic kind of targets would be reload zones, right? People thought I'm crazy to see prices come back down these low, but I personally don't see this market bottoming until we actually probably get into this zone. So realistically, that's kind of what I'm looking for targets, which is a far ways away. So, that's quite a bit of room of selling there. And then same thing with Bitcoin. If we do lose this current smaller range here, sorry, chart looks pretty messy right now. Then obviously I got this 94 to 85K area. So that's kind of the two main areas of potential support zones upcoming. But then obviously if that's, where prices are heading towards, then like I would just not touch alts at all. Because that means alts are probably going to fall another 90%. You can see the stablecoin dominance chart just ripping high. All indexes are dying. Bitcoin dominance is starting to perk back up and trying to bottom here. I think your best case is just to be in cash, to be honest. Like there's no signs of a turn here. There's no signs of a bullish push. We had it last week, but we failed and everything got rejected. So that means that, the bulls are not really participating. And you can see it across the board. Like everything is just like we literally might have to see prices come all the way back down to retest that bottom of that candle.
Yeah, but like this is the crazy thing.
Like most likely what's going to happen is that these prices are going to touch that bottom of that tail. Like, so like, people are like, oh, that freak out was like bullshit. It's like, actually, no, like that's probably forecasting exactly where the market has to bottom. So it's like, we still have 30 more percent, 50% on some of these coins to hit that bottom of the tail. And I think that's where most of these alts are headed towards right now. There's no signs of like kind of turns here just yet, but anything can happen within the week, within the day. But yeah, chart wise, very doom and gloom for me right now.
Yeah, but like I'm so disappointed. I was waiting for ETH for this year to make all-time high. Unfortunately, it was so close, but no, it didn't happen. But Andrew, I do agree with your point here. Like if you look at the VIX, go back.
The VIX. Yeah, I got the VIX here. Hold on. Got the VIX and the Dixie. Dixie's pumping.
Usually when US dollar starts to go up, everything will nuke. And if this is the case, we'll probably see like until January, February, dollar to go up if all these peace deals, China deal will go through. And that's usually very bad for the crypto industry itself. And I do agree with you also, like those weeks that happened during the last very bad cascading of liquidation, like there's no bids if you look at the market at the moment. There's no buy orders, like big buy orders waiting to be bought. So I do agree, we will go down more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we can just short everything and just live off the funding rates. Now I'm like in the position. I'm like, oh, it's too late to short now. Like, fuck me. Like, so annoyed. See, this is when we should have really just shorted everything in the market. Like that top coming in on ETH Bitcoin. Fuck, man. That was a very good tell sign of like, just don't touch the alts. And until we get a bottom and things start bottoming for ETH BTC, I don't think it's going to be a strong market. So,
yeah, like remember, guys, also like if you have stables, you can't really lose, right? It's in the long term. Obviously, you need to park it somewhere, and if you are here for the 5 years, DCAing is the best way. Like we are now speculating. We're doing short-term trades. Obviously, we don't recommend it if you're doing perps or anything else. But yeah, like I do agree. Like we're gonna see much more red still. A lot of dead bodies are still there. We don't know where they are, but they're gonna come out.
Where's Jimmy Hoffa?
In my basement.
Fucking hell, man. Yeah, it's like, I'm so sorry, guys. I wish I had some more bullish picks for us. I mean, like, we could, like, maybe try to do, like, some bottom picks on some of these, like, shittier ones that are, like, starting to, like, you know, hold up. Like, I was looking at Dusk, and I was like, oh, Dusk kind of looks like it's trying to bottom here. Rose is trying to put in a little double bottom here. And we might get something silly like this kind of price action come in, but I don't know. I'm super like jaded right now. I'm like, don't want to touch the market. I mean, Zcash is the only position that I have that's just like doing good. It's like it's somewhat holding out my portfolio. Hit a 10x the other day, and pretty much have my next sell at 20x. But at this point, it's like it's a small position, so it's I've been clipping all the way up. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like most things just look pretty bleak. Like I've been trying to go through the names here and just everything's just like bottom on their knees. Like try some BVIV maybe. That looks like it's trying to put a W there. Yeah, I mean, don't see too many double bottoms out there right now. So yeah, just sit and wait, boys. It's all I can say right now.
Nathan, where's our bull?
Yeah, where's the bullish news?
Where's the bullish news?
Because like I have a lot of bearish stories. Like
fuck.
Like Balancer got hacked, Stream Fund got wrecked. Like that's like a lot of negative news right now on my end. Even Lighter is getting fudded right now. Like fuck, dude, just can't get any wins here.
No, I mean I agree with everything you guys are looking at. Over the next little while here, we'll see how bad it gets, but I still think 2026 is going to be a good year. I could definitely see the scenario Jan's talking about playing out, where we see some sideways and down till early January, maybe even February, and then that's when things start to pick back up, and then explode throughout the summer and into election season next year. But and again, I think this whole terminology of a bear market, like everybody's like, what do we define as a bear market? Like alts have been in a bear market for a while, but Bitcoin's up almost 10x, right? From the bottom in 23. If Bitcoin goes, under retracement, down and sideways to whatever, 90s, high, mid 80s, for the next 3 months, is that a bear market? And then it picks up again next year. If like we get a 6-month period of, sideways and down, because when people say bear market, to me, that means like, okay, Bitcoin's topped. It's going to be down for the next 18 months where it'll bottom in there. And then, it's going to be, 2+ years before the market starts to come back up again, like we've seen with the traditional 4-year cycle. I don't think that's the scenario that we're entering into. I could definitely see, a different type of bear where, for the next, markets, we had the largest liquidation ever in crypto. Things gonna need some time to heal. Those wounds are still pretty raw for a lot of people. We probably do need to go back down and retest those wicks on alts, and Bitcoin is probably going to go lower then it might take 3, 4, 5, 6 months before we really start to see some strong bullish momentum on the upside again. Are we calling that a bear market? Maybe some people might. I mean, but I guess it's kind of, again, how do we define a bear market? If we're going by the traditional 4-year cycle of a bear market where it's, Bitcoin dumps for 18 months, I don't think that's what we're entering into.
I think,
yeah, I don't know what your guys' takes on that.
Based on the 4-year cycle, the pivot was like a couple of weeks ago. So technically, from here on, it's like it should just go down. Technically, so in my eye, I think we are starting a bear cycle. We already got these weekly tops coming in on Bitcoin and ETH. ETH has already been topped out since September. And then if you look across the alts, everything's just been straight down. Any kind of little pumps we do get, they get eaten up pretty fast. And now we're seeing absolute shitter, no names starting to rally. And that usually happens at the end of a cycle when you get these random fucking, tokens starting to pump.
So I've been thinking this, like, if you look at the TradFi, like TradFi this year, it's been run by 7 to 15 companies, right? Rest 600 different companies or whatever. Is it 500 that are listed on SP 500?
Yes.
Russell? Yeah. Okay. So 80% of those companies are basically making no money or are basically dead, right? I think that there came on statistics that are saying like most of the companies there are zombie companies. So I think the same has happened now in crypto. Like most of these companies that are in top 100, top 200, they're making zero cash. Like I was very fan of Aptos, which has been having good on-chain metrics, but even them, they're making $1,400 a day. Like how can they be valued at 3 billion and so forth? And
it's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's
and
all
this
nonsense.
is not the only example. Like there's many. Obviously, we're living in a market where everything is overvalued. If you have time, if you have AI and you can really do research, I would definitely look at companies from DeFi Llama that are making revenue, that are undervalued, and maybe even have a call with the team and be like, all right, hey, like, what's your opinion? What's your next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and so forth? I think you can find very good winners.
Yeah, I mean it's the bottoms pickers market, right? Like everything is fucking at lows. I just think like just play your setups, let the setups roll in, and then if you can combine FA, fundamental analysis, with technical analysis, then like that's like your ultimate kind of setup. Ideally, you do combine both, right? And then that's what they call being a rational investor. But yeah, it's I don't know.
But yeah, I guess that's it with the graphs.
Yeah,
Nathan,
that's it for the charts.
What's up with the M&A side, with Acquire and overall news?
Well, on the news side of things, let me share some screens here. Where do we want to start? We already bitched about charts quite a bit.
Always get the bitch, man.
This is our bi-weekly vent session, by the way, for anybody watching. We just decided to take it live so that you could all enjoy it alongside with us, because it'll happen regardless, whether it's on just a team call where we just yell at each other for an hour or if we broadcast at the world. So we thought we might as well share our opinions with you guys out there. Yeah, a lot of bear posts, a lot of capitulation, a lot of rage quitting going on crypto Twitter for the last week here now. Few people still bullish. Benjamin Cowan still feeling bullish here. Had this to say, this is not what a downtrend looks like for Bitcoin here. Market dominance continuing to go up. Virtual bacon, 3 to 6 month plan, staying bullish. On alts, as far as our alts go, last cycle, alt BTC pairs found a new major low at 0.25, which corresponded to the end of quantitative tightening. Perhaps, and I know this may sound crazy, but alt Bitcoin pair goes back to 0.25 again. A lot of ways to go down yet. You can still see a lot more bleeding on alts. And then QT ends in December, leading to early next year. Alts start to recover a little bit. Bitcoin catches a second wind, we get quantitative easing. We have potential for things like the stimulus checks going out, $2,000 stimmy checks going out to everybody in the U.S. Not for you Canadians, Andrew.
Yeah, it's okay. I just get raped by my taxes anyways.
So there are a few hopefuls out there in the markets, but for the most part, yes, crypto Twitter very, very bearish right now. Lots of people capitulating, saying they quit. Most of it engagement farming bullshit, but I'm sure there are a few people that have actually sold everything and walked away and bought a farm or whatever else the hell they say they're doing. Over currently right now, but good reason for it. I mean, obviously we had the massive liquidation, coming up on about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Bitcoin's been red, altcoins are absolutely murdered, and we just see hacks and exploits and all kinds of stuff going on. Obviously, a few days ago, the balancer hack, I think it's up over 100 million now. That was hacked total. What exactly happened there? What was the exploit vector that they attacked and then took to all the forks? Do either of you know?
No, I didn't look into it. I was just like, oh, another hack, great. Awesome. Awesome. Good timing. Always right at the fucking top of the market, yeah? Fuck.
Well, as if that wasn't enough, we've now got the stream finance. Not an exploit here, just poor fund management. And it's affecting quite a few people. So Stream Finance, some of their LPs essentially include some big names out there: Telos, Elixir, Bev Capital, Valeramore, Rev7, Inclabs, Mithras, a couple other big names out there. To the tune of the fund itself was like $285 million that they had allocated across different DeFi platforms. But freezing withdrawals and deposits to investigate why they've lost almost $100 million. Why they're pulling what's his bucket? What's the hyperliquid guy who's been liquidated for $100 million like twice now in the last 6 months? Yeah, James Wynn. So Stream Finance point of James Wynn. Waiting for their money as a real post later this week. So understandable why the markets are dumping. I think these things are just exacerbating the problem. Markets were already looking for an excuse to dump. People were already bearish, and this just gave them the rationale to get more bearish and to dump the markets harder. And I think we still have more dumps in sight, but we've talked enough about that. What do we have to get bullish about?
But I mean, if you think of the OTC market also, it's very hard for team to raise money at the moment. I think there's going to be a lot of capitulation coming in. If there's no new money coming in, it means that all the old projects that are trying to build something, it's going to be hard as fuck. I'm not going to lie here and be like, all right, it's going to be easy to raise money. No, it's actually very hard for a lot of top 100, top 200 projects to raise money at the moment. And I think capitulation is still coming. Plus, so we have Balancer, we have, what was the previous one?
Stream Finance.
And then we have Xshareler, the USDC, USDE, I think stable coins are getting also a little bit hammered at the moment. But I saw from the news. So I mean, there's so much fun at the moment. So it's either you buy now or reset the capital and start accumulating later.
Yeah, lots of bearish stuff here. But there's also lots of great comparisons, great things to look at in past cycles where we've had these type of events in the past before Bitcoin goes on to rip to absolutely new all-time highs. In 2020 we saw a similar situation, massive pump followed by a huge retracement. And months of relative sideways before the pump again. We could be seeing a very similar thing here now. I think this got plenty of room to come down more before sideways and then lift off again. So there is a lot of bearish stuff, but there always is. If this is one of those major retracements that we get in every bull run, we're coming in at just under 20% right now. Most bull markets, we see at least a 30% pullback. That put us down into the 90s, into the high 80s even. Again, this stuff happens every single bull run. Every single bull run, people are like, the fucking sky's falling. The world's over. War, doom, gloom. Everything's going to zero. And, it does for a little while and then comes back out. So I'm remaining long-term, mid-term bullish on this. But yeah, short-term, I think we're in for some more blood in the streets. But what do we have bullish to look forward to? Well, we know that QE is coming. We know QT is ending. That's very bullish. China is announced that it is planning on letting people come back into the markets at some point. We know what happens when China comes back into the markets. Every time that's happened over the last couple of cycles, we see some odd stuff pump, but Bitcoin overall moves up big. U.S. senators aiming to pass the Bitcoin. It's the Clarity Act before Thanksgiving. So, do a couple of things. One of the things it will do is it will declare Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and a handful of other tokens as commodities, not securities. This means a lot of different stuff. One, people will be able in the U.S. will be able to actually trade without worrying about being sued. Platforms will instantly, stock exchanges will instantly be able to start trading spot as a commodity because they're not securities. It will break down a lot of barriers for the U.S. capital markets to flow into crypto. Obviously, just because this passes, if it does pass at Thanksgiving, it doesn't mean that the day after Thanksgiving, people are going to be trading, retail is going to be trading, crypto on Fidelity. These things take time. But again, another factor building up, another catalyst, another flame simmering under that pot that is creating an interesting environment, a bullish environment in my opinion for next year there. We got both of these guys to look at. I know you love this chart, Andrew.
I do. This is one of my all-time favorite cycle studies.
Bro, do you know where this guy came from? So this was a farmer.
Yeah, he was a farmer.
This guy was a farmer. He lost everything. He went autistic about different cycles.
Yes, because that's how humans behave, react. It's how the markets behave. Because the whole idea of the futures market was created for commodities, for farmers, right? The idea of how do I make sure my stockpile that I farm today is not going to be worthless in 3-6 months. So that's why we have this futures market to begin with. And so a lot of these futures markets, the way it moves and these cycles move is based off of astrology, because you have seasons, you have weather seasons and shit, all kinds of things. And so a lot of this kind of correlates in that sense. So how, I don't know how he designed this thing, but man, it's pretty darn accurate. It might be off by 1 or 2 years here and there, but it makes a lot of sense of why this study still is valid to this day. And it's just because of how humans are. It's just
it's 200-year-old farmer chart. TA actually was invented by a Chinese rice merchant who started identifying patterns in the price of rices over the years.
Yes, that was in Japan. That's Japan, why we have Japanese candlesticks. And Holland guy or whatever.
But if you're bearish on the farmers, real estate, 18-year real estate cycle says 2026, run up through 2026.
There goes my house. There goes my crypto. There goes my house. I'm fine.
Well, you got another year. We got next year still bullish next year. Cycle peak in 2026, not in 2025. So we still got time to cash in. And then let's calling for 3 years of a recession in the real estate market, which the real estate market is, if you want to talk about overhyped market, yes, we know the stock market's completely fake and overpriced. Crypto is for the most part also has been super overinflated, but the freaking real estate market is insane. It is super overinflated. So maybe people will be able to afford houses again come 2030. But there are glimmers of hope. There are things you can look to out here that are bullish.
Where?
Good old Ted Pillows.
I need help.
Good old Ted Pillows here offers some light in the dark, a little silver lining here. So a lot of people are calling for a cycle top, based on the last 3 cycles. But again, as we mentioned on this channel many times before, so much of what they base the 4-year cycle off of has already been broken. That model doesn't make sense. We've had the all-time high before the halving. Bitcoin has very much been in a sustained uptrend, unlike past cycles. Could we be consolidating and going into a consolidation downward short-term bear market, whatever you want to call it? Again, yeah, very, very possible. But Ted says he doesn't rule out a correction, but a 60 to 70% crash does not seem likely right now. What do you think is fair? What do you think we could see, over the next, let's say, 3 months, if we start getting warmed up again, mid Q1 next year? What do we think, a 30, 40% pullback? What's reasonable? Or do you think we're going into a bear market, we see a traditional 70% pullback?
I think 30% is like a healthy correction in any kind of uptrend or downtrend or whatever. 30% is consistent. I think that's fine. But 60 to 70% is that's usually kind of where things are supposed to bottom. So if we do correct and we fall all the way back down to 60, 70%, then, that's a full correction in my opinion. And that's generally how I want to buy Bitcoin is I want to wait for those 70% plus crashes. And then I'll be considering longs heavily. But yeah, I don't think it's out of the questions.
Yeah, I think here the biggest question for me, okay, the fact is BTC returns are gonna go down eventually, and that means that is there gonna be cycles like 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years anymore? I do think there will be. I think the fact that there's gonna be always a halving coming up, there's gonna be always a price movement up. That's my theory. And I don't know if it's going to be 3 or 4 years, but let's say 2026 will be bad. 2027, we start to recover a little bit. 2028, we have a halving already. And that's when I think things will start again to push up.
So bearish. It's all over.
Bro,
it's all over, bro.
To be honest, you guys had a good point. There's going to be the elections coming up next year. And we all know what that means. No one wants a red market when elections are happening.
Yes. But what they can do is they can tank the market so fucking hard. And then they claim the win on the pump coming after that massive dump. So there's also that where I'm like, okay, that's definitely a possibility.
But whether they dump it first or they just keep the pump going and sustained, throughout the next year, or maybe they kind of let it cool off and go sideways and then pump it. They're gonna pull out all the stops to make things look good before November next year. Massive,
I would prefer
massive
that.
rate cuts, freaking stimulus checks, whatever they need to do, they're gonna do for 1, for the elections, and 2, if things start to unwind now, the dollar is fucked. Everything unwinds if things go crazy now. I think they're still going to try and put a Hail Mary in and kick this can down the road at least one more time. They're talking, there's lots of interesting theories out there about how Trump's trying to reset the dollar, with stable coins and other things like that. That could be at play. Who knows? But everybody who has half a fucking brain in their head knows that the current trajectory that fiat currencies like the US dollar are on cannot go on much longer. The U.S. the debt has now exceeded our GDP, which no country has ever come back from in history, FYI. Every time an empire has done that, whether it's Chinese, the Romans, whomever, your debt cannot surpass your GDP. It just doesn't work out well.
So you're telling me we're fucked.
But hopefully just not fucked today. Hopefully that we're fucked in 5 years. That's
oh God.
Hopefully we've got a little more time to get some bags going, to insulate ourselves a little more, and then we probably have an unfun event coming.
Nice.
So I don't know, man. Like again, I'm gonna repeat myself in this channel. I've been repeating myself for the past 2 years. If you are DCAing BTC and you have a 5 years cycle, I think you cannot lose with BTC. You just can't. It's like with gold. Like gold for the past 30, 40 years, if you look long enough, gold has outperformed the SP 500. The best asset managers have not beaten gold.
Well, and I think if we want to talk long term and zoom out, the ultimate conviction of why all of us are here hasn't changed. And if whenever we need reminders, fortunately, Europe right now is providing all kinds of great reminders of why exactly this technology exists and why it's so important for the future and will continue to be important for the future. If you want to know why, it's really a momentum pump at this point with all the privacy coins. But why did maybe the privacy coins get started? I don't know. Have you seen what the hell's going on in Europe right now? You see, they're enforcing the euro, the digital euro. They're all this crazy Mika stuff. They're putting forcing digital IDs, which are all tied together, by the way. They're putting carbon credits on gas station sandwiches. Like 7-Eleven, you buy a sandwich, is like, this costs 7 carbon credit points. Well, guess what? When they have the digital euro enforced and Mika's in place and you have a digital ID and it's tied to all your credit cards or however they're having you spend your digital euro, and they decide, oh, you've had too many sandwiches today. You're being ungreen. Now you get to eat soylent and bugs for the rest of the day, and you're not able to buy anything else, whether or not you have money. And when you've been driving too much and they decide, oh, you've bought too much gas today and you're at the gas pump trying to put your credit card in so you can get gas and drive somewhere. And they're like, nah, you're not green enough today. And they shut your card down. That's where this is all leading to, what's happening in Europe. That's why this technology, that's why this industry is so important and why, we came to life. Just recently, this Ursula von What's-Her-Bucket from the EU. Oh, by the way, not an elected official. They just decided she was going to be the person that is going to be running the show there, along with most of the people that are heading to EU and the WEF and all these other dystopian draconian institutions that are out there trying to control all of Europe, and they would like the world. But some fun things that she's out here telling you, how great is the digital euro going to be? You're going to be able to do blah 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 blah, all these wonderful things that's going to bring about. And CT just absolutely trashing her and the EU there, because we all know what this really means. This means limiting you on what you can spend, where you can spend it, and when you can spend it. Social credit scores, probably not far behind that, like they enforce in China. Oh, a 4-minute city. You want to leave the city? We're going to scan your face so we know where you are at all moments. Oh, you're not behaving well online? Oh, well, you're not able to buy train tickets or plane tickets anymore. They're talking about capping a $3,000 preset whole limit for the digital euro, unless you're a special citizen and you're allowed to have more money and spend more money within a certain allotted time period. France trying to push a vote for unrealized capital gains tax, not just on crypto, but on all luxury assets. Whether you hold Bitcoin, whether you have property, whether you have a yacht, if they decide that your money's not moving in fast enough, they're gonna tax you for it so that they can get their hands more on it. This is the reason why this technology, why Bitcoin, why all of this is so important. And that's not going to change, whether that's over the 5-year horizon or the 100-year horizon. So even if we do, even if I'm wrong, even if we are peaked, even if we're headed into a 18-month 70% correction, zoom out 5 years, 10 years, this technology is still going to be extremely important. This industry is not going anywhere. There's going to be some rough times ahead, but for those that are willing to stick it out for the long run, this is where some amazing riches are going to be made.
I mean, in Europe, it's very hard to do any business nowadays. Like, there's so many. First of all, the taxes are horrible. Innovation is not there. They basically pulled out all the rich people and plus the people that are actually building something there. So how is Europe going to compete? But obviously, Europe has old money. Like, if you look at the GDP of Europe, it's one of the biggest economies out there still. It's just unfortunate that we do have these European Union leaders that are not really forward thinking business. They're thinking more socialist stuff, but
they want power. They don't care whether you label it socialism, communism, capitalism, or whatever. They want to be in control. And I think it's only a matter of time before we start to see some major pushback around the world. Like you said, businesses can't operate. Farmers can't farm. Like they can't make food. People soon aren't going to be able to spend their own money. They're talking in Europe about like leveraging people's savings accounts. Like it's your savings account in a bank, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're just going to use this to start lending and trying to earn yield on.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. Yeah. Like people are going to have had enough very soon, and they're going to push back, and they're going to, they're going to have some major issues with these powers that be. And the average person eventually isn't going to stand for it. And what's their alternative? It's Bitcoin, it's crypto, it's digital assets like this, not the CDCs.
Yeah, but they're also doing what, like digital passports or digital
ID
stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's just it's getting nasty over there in Europe.
Yeah. But again, like I think it's in some ways a good thing. We've been on the slippery slope for a long time. But when they, it's like the old theory of the frog in water. You put him in there, and you start it cold, and you turn it up slowly. He's not going to jump out. He's going to cook to death. Well, that's what's been happening, since fiat was invented, and back in 1913. It's been this slow boil, and people won't jump out. But it takes stuff like this. It takes really draconian stuff. People wanting to go buy a sandwich, and they're told no. People wanting to go travel to see their loved ones for Christmas, or who's in the hospital, like no, because carbon credit, blah, 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 some horse shit like that. People's livelihoods being ruined. They can't do business. They can't live. So they can't travel.
It's like the social credit system in China.
Yeah, that's where things get bad enough where people are willing to stand up and demand a change versus the slow creeping. That's what, in my opinion, is way more dangerous. Stuff like this where it gets real bad real quick. That's where I see it as, I guess, the silver lining, not a positive thing, but a silver lining of this is the kind of extreme things that will get people to actually stand up and react and be like, all right, we've had enough. That's far enough. We're going to go ahead and say no to this.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope people will actually stand up and protest or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even think most people realize what's happening.
They're gonna start realizing it real soon. They're not gonna like people in Europe. Like life's gotten bad. Like look what's happened with all the just the unwanted
immigrants.
Yeah. But these refugees that are all over Europe now. People notice. People are starting to definitely.
Yeah. So. Thank you, liberals.
But hey. Well, that's not super cheery. That's not real positive.
There's nothing cheerful of this market, man. We're screwed. Everyone, get ready for your McDonald's job. Start getting your.
Here's one thing that I will say. I guess maybe not for everybody, but if you are in the M&A space, and Jan, I love your take on this. Whether or not we are about to go into a full-on, 18-month bear market, whether we're about to go into the recession in the traditional markets. M&A, I think, will only pick up if we go into a bear market in TradFi and in crypto. It's going to mean the guys that have money, the Aptoses, the Binances, the Coinbases that are sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars, the protocols that have cash in the bank, the hyperliquids, et cetera, they're going to take this opportunity to start gobbling up everything that's at fire sale prices if we do, in fact, go into a multi-year bear market here. So I guess it's a silver lining for the M&A industry, for our partners and for our projects that we're working with. I guess maybe there's a silver lining for us.
So the question here is if M&A is going to flourish or not.
Yeah, let's say we go with the scenario that we're going into a bear market. Does M&A flourish during the bear market?
I think yes, consolidation will happen. I think there's going to be a lot of fire sales, and obviously there's a lot of people that are opportunistic, even on the fund side. Like there are buyers still on the OTC side, obviously, but they are very opportunistic. People understand that, hey, paying like 30%, 20% discount for a shitcoin, it doesn't make sense. They want 50% nowadays. I think the same thing will happen with M&A. And obviously, like people who hasn't done M&A previously or don't know the industry, there's a lot of profitable companies at the moment for sale. And it doesn't mean that these are all fluff, but as a founder, when you do something for 5 to 10 years, like it's exhausting. And as we are in crypto industry, which is the most stressful industry ever, like 1 year is basically 3 years is normal finance. Like it's exhausting. I totally get it. And I do think like during bear market, there's going to be a lot of M&A happening. And TradFi, if you look at this year, like with the TradFi people coming in, there's been so many TradFi acquisitions, like coming in and buying huge chunks of different crypto companies. Latest was Stripe buying, I can't remember even, but like, yeah, exchanges are doing it, normal companies are doing it, layer ones are doing it, ecosystems are doing it. Like, I think it's a good time to be a builder. And if you have capital and you want to be opportunistic, I think there's a lot of good deals.
Absolutely. Well, there is a somewhat positive note to end on. Thanks for everybody tuned in. We had, I think, almost record numbers today tuning in, almost up to 100 people live with us that watch, and obviously gets more views after we posted across the interwebs there. But shout out to everybody that tuned in. As always, we hope you guys are doing well. Hope you stay safe out there. You know, we know how tough the markets are. Yeah, we'll be back Friday with some more, hopefully some positive news. We'll see where things shake out. Stick with it. There's always opportunities out there. Try and stay positive. Get away from the charts if you need to. Don't rage quit. It's not all over. And until next time, we'll see you on Friday.
Ciao, guys.
See you guys.
Stay safe.